So you plan to study abroad this year and you are considering taking student loans, but then you've been seeing a lot of people say online that their student loan application was denied, and now you're concerned, you're worried. Will my student loan application be denied? What do I do to ensure that my application is approved? So in today's video, I'll share with you so many reasons why a student loan application could be denied and what exactly you can do about that. What's up, my friends? So there are so many reasons why a student loan application could be denied, and I'm going to talk about some of those reasons in today's video. But first, I do want to share that a couple of months ago I shared with you what loan providers are really looking for when they review your loan application. I'll link that video in the description. Please watch that one after this, and that would ensure that you're prepared to submit a really good loan application. And if you are reapplying as well, this will really help you. Okay, so first reason your loan application could be denied is you do not have enough savings. A lot of loan providers, for international students especially, these loan providers do not provide 100% of your total cost of attendance. For some programs, very few programs, some of these loan providers will provide you up to 100% of your tuition plus living expenses, but in many cases they do not provide 100% of your total cost of attendance. So what happens is those loan provider can provide maybe up to 80%, up to 50%, up to 30% of your tuition, or up to 50% of your tuition and living expenses, but the expectation is that you show them how you will pay the balance. So let's say the max that they can fund for your specific program is 70%, right? So you need to show them how you plan to pay 30%. So that's usually a problem. If you do not show good enough proof of how you will pay 30%, then they can deny your application. So what can you do about this? Before you apply or before you reapply, you need to make sure you have that 30% in your bank account, or you have sponsorship letters from people around you that shows up to that 30%. And if you're getting a sponsorship letter, you need to make sure those people that are writing you a sponsorship letter also attach their bank statement. So those are things you should be prepared to do. Now, there's some tricky things, right? So some people, they just get the funds from someone maybe 2 days before they apply for the student loans, and they transfer the funds, the 30% in this example, into their own bank statement. That's a red flag. You cannot just transfer 30% into your bank account 5 days before you apply. Those are things they review and you could get denied, right? So you want to make sure you plan those things before you apply. So another reason your loan could be denied is poor credit and deficiencies. So this is an interesting one and probably the most important one. When you're applying for a student loan, they usually tell you to upload a credit report. Now, on your credit report, they can see your loan history and see if you have any deficiencies. If you know you're going to be applying for student loans, you need to make sure that you go check your credit score, your credit report months before you apply. So go to your credit bureau in your country and try to see if they can provide you your credit report. And once you check the credit report, make sure there are no deficiencies, no issues on your credit report. Now, if any deficiencies on that report, try to start working on it. Try to see how they can remove that from your record. There are so many things you can do to ensure that that issue does not remain on your record, especially if it's an error. Errors happen, but the loan company will not understand that this deficiency they see on your report is just an error. So you want to make sure you get your report ahead of time and start correcting some of those issues, right? Now, another thing is, a lot of you ask me, Doyin, I got my credit report, but it says no credit history. That is good. That is great. That means you've not really taken any official loans in your home country. So when I was applying, I also got a report that showed no credit history. And that's because as a Nigerian living in Lagos, or that lived in Lagos my entire life, I never took loans. You know, most of us take loans from our mom, from our friends, but we never took any loans that went through the system. And that is good. If that's what you're saying on your record, you are fine. Just make sure you get that record weeks before you want to submit your application in case there are any issues. Now, if you're Nigerian and you don't know where to even get your credit report, the most popular bureau is CRC. So just Google CRC credit report or online and you will find their website. And it used to be free. I still believe it's free, but check and let me know if now it's a paid service. So another reason your loan could be denied is your earning and employment history. So let's explain this one. One of the things that these loan providers are looking for is your earning potential. So what they do is they look at your historical earnings and based off of that determine what you're likely to earn in the future. So they're using the past to predict the future. That's what they're doing. I don't know if that's the right thing or the wrong thing, but that is exactly what they're doing, especially for loans that do not require a co-signer. They're taking a risk on you, my friend. They're really betting on you. And so the way they hedge their risk is to see, has this person been a high earner throughout their career? The answer is yes, you stand a better chance of getting your loans approved, right? Because they are using your historical earnings to predict your future earnings. So I explained all of this in that video, in one of my previous videos where I tell you what loan providers are really looking for in your application. Check out that video at the end of this one after watching this one and you would understand what I'm saying. But essentially, these loan providers, when you're submitting your loan application, they ask you what do you currently earn? Tell us about your previous jobs. What did you earn on this job? And they look at the average for that country and see if you're a high earner or you've always earned much lower than most people in that country. They will also check things like the kind of places where you've worked, the kind of skills that you've gotten doing those jobs, and they will use that to predict the likelihood of you getting a good job and earning well in the future. So if you're thinking about taking student loans, this is one of the reasons why your loan could be denied. So what you want to do is when you're filling that application, if you have other sources of income, you have a side hustle, you have a job, you have things you're doing, you're supporting people with, other ways you make money, you want to make sure you package those things well and put that in your application so that boosts your earnings potential, I guess. So that's something you can do if you're applying or reapplying. So another reason your loan application could be denied is your field of interest. This is an interesting one. Again, like I shared previously, these loan providers are really trying to see what is the likelihood that this person will earn well and pay us back, right? Especially if you're applying to loan providers that do not require you to have a co-signer. They are doing all these things to estimate how likely you are to default, how likely you are to pay back on time after graduation. So one of the things that they check is the field that you're thinking about going to. So if you're applying for as part of the application process for a loan, you must have uploaded an offer letter. If that offer letter from that school is for a program in a field that they believe isn't lucrative, then there's a good chance your loan application will not be approved. And this is because these loan providers have been providing loans for years. They've provided loans to so many people who studied different programs in multiple countries. And based off of the information, the historical information that they have seen that people that are going to specific fields just end up making more money because they went into these lucrative fields and they are able to easily pay back their loans, while others that went into less lucrative fields are unable to pay back their loans. And so when they are reviewing your own application, that's the lens they are using to review your application. So essentially, if you can, maybe you applied to multiple schools and one program is STEM, one program is not STEM, try to apply with that program that is STEM or programs that are generally more lucrative. One thing you can do is just to make sure you're applying to different kinds of programs. And if you have different admission offers from different schools, try with one school now, and when you're reapplying, hopefully they also support the other school. Try to see if you can apply with the other school's admission offer. So this is one more reason why your loan could be denied. One more reason why your loan could be denied is the amount that you requested in the application. So higher amount is just more risk. Let's say your program tuition costs $100,000 and you're applying for an $80,000 loan. It's just a lot riskier for the loan provider, and so usually they would just deny their loan application instead of saying, oh, you applied for $80,000, we can only give you $50,000. Depending on the loan provider, they will outrightly just decline that application. And that is because they believe if you've applied for an $80,000 loan, even if they offer you $60,000, they are not sure how you will pay the $20,000. So what I'll say is, if you are reapplying and you applied for an $80,000 loan before, when you are reapplying, try to reduce that amount and provide evidence like your savings or sponsorship letters for how you pay the balance. So if your tuition is $100,000, that's your tuition plus living expenses, you can apply for $60K and show proof of how you will pay $40K. That's something you can do. I know this is not easy because, hey, you don't have the $40K, right? But it's what it is. The higher the amounts that you request, the higher the risk for the loan provider, and the higher the likelihood that your loan will be declined. So make sure you adjust the amounts that you are applying. All right, that is it for today's video. Let me know if you have questions about taking student loans, or you still don't understand why a loan could be denied and what loan providers are looking out for when they are reviewing your application. But let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I will get to those questions, and give this video a thumbs up if it was useful. I'll see you in the next one.